Hello everyone, Achadino over here, and today we are finally doing the, let's say, mid to late game, or well, you can also call it late game, because I don't think many people is actually going to get further than this, and I'm going to spoiler you. I actually did try Uber Aberroth, and I got my ass handed to me. I don't think I'm going to beat it for a long while. Now, this is a run I just did like 5 minutes ago, and I've gotten a lot of good gear since the last video I did. I even did a video that I haven't uploaded about gearing and things like that, because I still have to kind of get the planners a little bit better, because I had some ideas between uploading it after doing it. And one thing that I'm very happy about is that I at least got some good exalteds now for doing the slams and other things. And well, right now Aberroth, it's lasting me like one phase for each combo that I do. I don't know. I know that his HP is like not like limited, but it's kind of how it works for me right now. At least I get to 64, then to 50, then 30 something, and then 20, and then he's dead. It's likely that I can get quite a bit more damage on some of my items and idols, but not a huge deal. So there may need to be like a shift to another other place, or just try and get more tanky, like with red rings and uh, foot of the mountain and things like that. Things normally people use. Also get more than 3k life and other things. But for the main thing that you have come here is to get the build itself. So I'm going to explain again the gear that we are using, the skills. Now I think I will do put apart from the Weaver tree and other things, because what I'm forming right now is mainly the imprints that I have, and also the echo of the brink of whatever that drops the 10 Harbingers. It's very hard, so I can't always do it. I do struggle a little bit, but eventually you will be able to do that one. And now let's get into the game itself. Of course, the planner that I'm going to leave you is the planner, the gear that I have right now. I even have a Nihilis that I bought, but I didn't slam yet. I will eventually. I'm still very caught up. I don't know if I want critical strike multiplier or mana. Mana would let me do 3 combos instead of 2. So we will have the normal combo, and then of course we would reset synchronized strike, and then we could do again synchronized strike, and then one puncture and shift lethal mirage, and then we will have another combo with a smoke bomb. That would be possible, of course. As you know, we only have regen, so afterwards we will just run around a little bit until we regen like around 100 mana, and then we can do the combo again. Why do we need 100 mana more or less? It's because synchronized strike actually uses that much mana. You can get a mod on your helmet to get it less cost, and also on idols, but I don't think it's really worth it, at least on the idols. Maybe on the helmet, if you get a 2 LP seat, or you just play with a rare helmet, that's also a really good alternative. This is more of a defensive helmet. There is also an offensive helmet that you could try. Don't use the Bone Clamor Barbut, because intelligence breaks your Usenuis, but you can use a Ravager's Dart. If you get one with 11 dexterity, that's actually quite a lot of damage. And then you can get a 3 LP one and get some good mods like dexterity and other things. This would of course be more of a offensive thing. Now, what I'm happy because I managed to get this sword that I'm going to imprint in my tree. If you don't know what imprinting is, I will explain it a little bit later. But I'm going to try and slam this in one of these swords. I'm going to use, of course, a rune of creation, and use one sword, and then eventually use another one. I'm going to imprint, of course, one with high force potential, so that if I drop one that is similar, I can kind of redemption or havoc craft it again. That's something that if you don't know what it is, there are plenty of streamers and YouTubers that have done good content on that. I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to just present it in a calm manner for people to understand, but you can just check how to do havoc or redemption rune crafting, and you will get help on that. I have changed my idols quite a bit. I have one idol here that I'm not using for some reason. But right, I remember why. This one's one of the health and mana ones that I actually sold for quite a bit, 16 million. Now we are on Merchant Guild. I actually forgot to say this at the beginning. I always say it, but I forgot this time. This build is better done on Merchant's Guild, or you first do another build and then do this one in your cup, because it uses a lot of uniques that it's hard to get LP into. And eventually, of course, you will always for the super pushing thing, I think you might just change things, like you would use red rings instead of the jewel rat one, and then for the belt, of course, it will be a different belt, like the queen's chaps. And here you would use the foot of the mountain that gives all stats. For the chest, I think Titan's Heart is good, but if you need a lot of stats, you can also use the core of the mountain or other chest that gives stats. Getting Nihilis in KOF is actually easier than on MG, because you drop like 2 or 3 every time you kill Aberroth with the right thingies. One thing that is going to be a pain to get in KOF, of course, is gloves like this. Gloves with good dexterity. I haven't managed to get one with the champion mod and tier 7 any attribute. But just get this if you can get some shred, hybrid life if possible. Sadly, I couldn't get any of this. But to those, Usenuit with 3 LP, just some less mirage and dexterity. I got health because it is like that. 1 LP Shattered Chains can do moth. Hybrid health is super strong. You can get mana regen or lightning damage if you are going for more of an offensive thing. But it's not that worth going full offensive. You are just going to die a lot and be sad. I'm only at like 530 something corruption. It's still kind of a struggle. Now, that is for the gear, more or less. Of course, remember, Black Blade of Chaos, Critical Strike Multiplier, and Lightning Flat, if possible, as the slams. I did get percentage lightning here because I couldn't find any of those after breaking my 2 swords before. And the Julras are nothing special, just tier 7 dexterity. You could get 2 LP ones eventually, but they are very pricey. It's not in my ballpark right now. I still want to finish my chest. I'm going to vision craft it, kind of. Have some chests ready to redemption and to havoc here to try and get dexterity and lethal mirage. Same thing with before. Some people will explain it better than me. Now for my idols, you will see them in the planner anyway, but I still have to enchant idols so I can get this multiplier with another good mod. And they are nothing crazy, just multiplier and armor shred. I also have some I have dropped from the ground, but I'm not 100% sure if I have one over here. Yeah, here I have another one, and here I have some others. And then these are vitality and melee damage. We may change this for to get some necrotic, more necrotic resistance, and maybe some a bit more poison. Percentage health and elemental resistances. These are a little bit pricey, but not hugely. Dodge and necrotic resistance. You will see why I have 0 dodge right now. I went the glancing blows talent thingy. You will see my talent. I'm not 100 yet, but not many things will change. Apart from moving one of these points to this, likely. I changed also the Veil of the Night because I'm not using glancing blows anymore. I'm sorry, dust shrouds on my smoke bomb or anywhere else. They kind of don't work that well with this one. I got 1 point in Argent Veil for that 100% dodge sometimes after being below 70% HP. And nothing much else has changed. My marksman tree is still the concentration one. As you know, there are some points you can get for extra concentration and more move speed and dodge rating, etc, etc, but we don't run those. Don't really care about. Of course, bow damage is not our thing. Remember, if you want to be more tanky, you can always get these points, the Wilderness Scout, at the Outlander's Tenacity, instead of the ones that I got. You would just lose dexterity and 16% more damage. But if you know, if you are dead, you don't do damage. That's one thing that you need to know. Try to move as much as possible to get the 20% less damage taken. We do our combo always keeping in mind lethal cadence. 100% increased damage is quite a lot. Dodge and parry, very good. We only get 1 point here to be able to get coated blades. We use a lot of mana because of this node, but it's worth it. 80% more damage, it's a lot. Now, let's get into our skills. First, synchronized strike. Nothing has changed from before. What we have is our execute node, but first, you rush the mana efficiency and dark allies. Remember, this is not a leveling build. You should be already like level 80 something or maybe 70 something when you change to it. The Black Blade of Chaos. I do recommend if you want to have one with less gear, like almost everything here costs more than 1 million, I think. So do be aware of that. You get the extra mana, the Crimson Shroud, making us do more bleed. I will explain why bleed is important, even if we don't scale it. Here you get some bleed just as you hit, and you also get some shred. Remember also that Synchronized Strike can hit more than once. So it's like that you get some more shred, you get more area, the extra damage on shows is whatever. Efficiency, very important. You can also get efficiency in your helmet and in the idols, like I said before. Even in your chest, you can get some. Then here is just to get the execute at 15%. It's very useful. Sometimes you can just snap that one. Now for our shot, I have changed some things. It is way less defensive than before, but also we don't use Dusk Shrouds anymore. We have almost capped glancing blows. I have capped it with an extra idol here that will be one of these with dodge and necrotic resistance. I will likely also get some better ones that have 4% dodge rating and some number. I just got this one because I didn't have that much gold, but now I've sold some things, let's say, and they are better. So we get some armor shred stacks. We get a lot more of them because of this. We also get some slows. Slowing enemies is quite strong than expected. One silver veil is enough to proc the auto dodge. We don't get as much guard as before. Before we got 300, now we get 100, but it's still very good. And it's a reactive dodge that you can do if you know something is coming. You also get frailty. It doesn't last a lot, but it's something. It lasts longer. This is one of the main reasons that we use these smoke blades. This stacks up to 4 times while you are inside of the smoke bomb, and makes it so you do up to 80%, 80 flat melee damage with each stack. That is good. You also get some shadows. With this and synchronized strike and shift, we overcap our shadows, but it's better to do that. You can of course move some points to get more duration. It helps to get the smoke blade more, and also get more shadows because it's one every second. So if the right now it's lasting like 5 seconds or something, if you get it to 6 or 7, you will get some extra shadows. It's good for while you are clearing or something like that, but if you are doing the normal combo, it's kind of whatever. Shift, remember, very strong. It gives us like 20 and 30% more damage, and this makes it so we always crit, so that we don't need to do the full flow combo. Instead of 5 flows, we are using only 4. That's why we don't rupture in our normal combo. Get some extra mana because of the extra point that we have. We leave a shadow. An extra shadow is never bad. Makes our Lethal Mirage hit super hard, because remember, you rush first the 2 Mirages, then the other 2 Mirages, then get to Aberroth Fist and Shadow Eater. This makes it so you hit once more for each shadow that you consume, so you will hit 6 times more, and then each shadow also increases the damage by 40%. Making of course that extra shadow that you get in gloves very strong. Of course, you are not going to play Shocking Grasp unless you go Fulgurate, or in my case, Black Blade of Chaos, making all of the base damage from the skill, instead of physical, it's going to go to lightning. You also can get 30% lightning penetration. And if you put these points, you will get 8 flat. Of course, these points are not as strong if you're using a two-hander because you only have one, but they are very strong if you use two daggers or swords. This also it's 60% more damage for each bleed. It caps, of course, from 20 bleeds. So if you can get 20 bleeds, mostly from your bleeds on the ground and from synchronized strike and things like that, it helps a lot. And we have Orbital Blades as the last point. It's not an active ability that we use, remember, it's just the blades that we have from the thing is when they spawn. Mobs can only be hit by one blade, but having more than one, it's still very good because they have a set duration. So if you can refresh them, also leaving just shadows shifting. Even if you don't have enough mana, they will keep putting shred, shock, and everything that you need. They also put doom and other things. If you don't know what doom is, it increases damage on the target. As you can see here, it increases damage by 4%. It's kind of hard to see it, a little bit weird like that, but nothing crazy. And then after the skills and everything, the blessings themselves have not changed that much. I've been farming them. Before I had like kind of a basic baseline of what I wanted. Now we do have 28% endurance, 19% to all resistances. I'm still farming that one. I really want 20%. But 71 void and 74 physical because you can get vitality or elemental to be easier to cap these and these, but physical and void are harder to cap. Of course, if you get some good fixes in your LPs, you can move these ones around. You can get critical strike multiplier instead of the void resistance, and for instead of physical, you can get very good things like armor or mana. There is one with a huge, no, this one ward. Yeah, endurance threshold is very strong. Some resistance and not much more, to be honest, because we don't care about the shreds. We can't block, so you can't really do that one. And that's it. Everything else is not that important. Use some drop rate and whatever. The shred lightning resistance is very important also. I have 48 in this case. I will be living in that echo thingy after I cap all my blessings, because that way I can get more black blades of chaos. They drop quite a bit if you are in a higher corruption. And this is my gear right now. As you might expect, of course, I still have to slam, I don't know if mana or multiplier. I think I will slam mana, likely, because being able to do 3 combos instead of 2 will let me kill most things that I need. Harbingers usually last me 2 combos if I do it right, but if I don't, they last 3 anyway, or maybe they just last 3, depending on the abilities that they do. Most bosses also last 2 or 3. Lagon is kind of a special thing because you do 1 and then if you get him to 50%, so if you have too much damage, then he phases and you can't really kill him that unless you do a super fast move after the first combo. We will see. Haven't done Lagon in quite a while. That timeline, it's still only 380 something, I think. Yes. This was the timeline that I was farming for the physical blessing, and then I'm farming this one. I have quite a bit of Gaze of Orbis, but I haven't still done the Orbis thing to get more corruption. Will get me to 550 or something like that. So that is the state of it. The build itself, I have shown some clearing. Nothing has changed. You just keep going and shifting, and then using Lethal Mirage, you will get your resets from hitting 11%. It's kind of not there, not that. Ideally, you want at least 15, but this was what I could get at the time. More people are doing Harbingers, maybe mostly on that the Brink Echo. So they get some Black Blades of Chaos. If they get a 2LP, they know that it's actually worth something and they sell it. But it has a huge range of mods. You do want to get at least 50% reset, but you can kind of work with 10 to 14 kind of. It will be a little bit annoying, but nothing impossible. Then as much dexterity, lightning penetration, and flat lightning. Getting some void penetration and some flat void, it's kind of decent. Don't need to really bother with the shock or time rot because we already cap shock very easily thanks to the talent, that gets our bleed and poison to shock chance. You get to 10 stacks super fast. So that is the build itself. Now, one thing that people have been asking me is to do a BIS planner or something like that. I did do another video, as I told before, that I can talk like that, and I will put some planner, one offensively and one more defensively. Do be aware that it's going to have 3 LP and maybe 4 LP items on the things that I do think are possible. So I am going to put a 3 LP Titan Heart, but I'm going to put a 4 one because a 4 one is kind of crazy. But also idols, as you might already know, these are no mystery to anyone. Critical strike multiplier and armor shot effect are just superior to most things. I was thinking that the melee damage and increased melee damage were kind of good, but the problem is you don't have like a second strong prefix to get more damage. You have like some lightning penetration, but it's not big, and it's on the other. It's on one of these instead of the ones that are of Cloto. Of course, they still give some damage, but I may replace this to get more resistances in general or more mana and mana regeneration. So that is everything. If you have any questions or any doubts, you can put them in the description. And as always, I will see you on the next video.